Welcome back to the Ericeira post-show. We have finished off an incredible event. We've had some big winners. Samuel Pupo just taking out Callum Robson in the men's. We saw the veteran Sally Fitzgibbons taking out the 13-year-old Tia Zabrowski in the women's. Benzie, you've been down there amongst it, mate. That last event down there with the Brazilians singing, chanting. What was it like being a part of that throng?
It was crazy. It was awesome. Such a, these are the moments we love about these kind of events. It was bit wild seeing an empty beach just then, because it feels like 30 seconds ago I was in the rugby scrum of people going absolutely crazy. Chico, you were telling me that was was it a Brazilian or a Portuguese kind of chant that all the guys were getting into behind the interview that I did with Sammy. The Pupos, you got to love them. They've been awesome all week supporting each other. The whole Brazilian contingent's been fantastic, and what a high note to finish on.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the Pupos. They bring so much energy, so much good surfing. And I'll tell you what, they're clogging up that bracket as well, the top of them. We've got Sammy Pupo. He's gone up to the top of the rankings now, courtesy of this win. And on the Challenger Series rankings, the top 10 are those surfers that do go through to the CT. And here we go. That's how it panned out. And you look at Sammy, he's beat Robson, Aleo Moniz, Grosjean. So he hasn't had an easy run, Chico. And every time, he's just been too good. He's never really been boxed in. He's just been the form surfer the whole event.
Yes, he is. And I feel like the turning point is that heat against RD. That fourth heat of the quarterfinals, we kind of expect that the one that wins that heat was going to win the event, just because that matchup was so intense and with so many high scores. So if you win that heat, your confidence is going to be through the roof.
Well, you say that, but so often you see someone put together an incredible performance and then there's the letdown and they can't continue to back it up. That heat was unbelievable, especially on the back of the heat in front, which was terrible. And yeah, Sammy Pupo just hasn't missed a beat. He's taken the confidence from that and just kept it rolling today, winning here for the second time. Yeah,
he's been on a roll. Let's go through his path to the final. It wasn't easy. He'd, he had some moments, but tell you what, every time he was asked a question, he answered it too good. He was here, he's calm, he's considered early on in the road to final. This stuff, Chico, that first turn he's had the whole event, and the click off the back has been a part of his, a trademark of his win.
I felt like he was really sharp throughout the whole event. Just the angles of the turns he was doing was always on the pace of the wave, Nothing was on miss there, and you can expect Samuel to do well every time he catches waves and he has opportunities, because he's that good, Like, as I said before, I think he just deserves to be on tour, and the CS is not really for him just to qualify, but like every time he comes back, he just wins events and he does almost 18-point total each. So Samuel is just that good.
And Benzie, we thought he just had to get to the quarterfinals to make the CT. He did that. We questioned his motivation in terms of after that. Has he got what it takes to keep turning up? Well, he answered it today, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you see it a lot. Sally did the same on the women's side, qualified and then won the event. Often at the highest level, someone wins a world title in the early rounds, or used to in the old days, and then goes on to win the contest as well. So, you can't beat that momentum, that impetus, the confidence that comes with racking up the big wins. And Sam Pupo just really did not put a foot wrong from start to finish.
And what do you, yeah, exactly. And what do you think he's going to do well next year, Chico, on the CT? He's made it. What type of ways, think he can perform? He's doing this in Ribeira. Where else is he going to do well, do you think, in 2025?
Well, I think if you think about the Gold Coast, I think that's
all I think about.
Yeah, it's all I think about as well. I think he can start there with the right foot and really avoid being in trouble on the cut line afterwards. So I think it's a good starting point for Samuel, somewhere it's where he's been happy before. He did really well on the CS there as well this year. And yeah, I just think he's going to start on the right foot, right?
And you imagine, Benzie, probably from about 2 o'clock today, he'll be thinking about Hawaii, thinking about the CT, getting ready. They'll be training. It's all go. I know they go to Brazil first, but he'll just be focused on being 100% ready for that start of that year, next year.
Absolutely. I mean, he's won here twice, and he's still saying it's a tricky read. He's still studying it. He's trying to learn. So he's never going to take anything for granted, and this was just magic. Being down, it's a pretty grey, dreary day, and yet the spirits were through the roof on the sand. This is the result of the final with Callum Robson just coming up short. But Miguel, he just had that impetus from the start.
Yeah, 14.5, couple of sevens off the bat, never looked back. Callum Robson just couldn't get into it. and that came just after a performance from Sally Fitzgibbons in the women's, where she was up against a 13-year-old, Tia Zabrowski. In itself, that is an incredible story, but Sally, she just came out firing, and she was really punchy in a posted interview with you. She was like, these young girls, some of them wouldn't even like look them in the eye. I wanted to show them. It was just great to see her fire it up.
Yeah, I was trying to ask her about, the respect that the younger generation show for her, because it might have been off camera, but the young Aussie ladies who were getting around Sally on the beach after she came in, some of them are 10, 15 years younger, and they grew up idolising this lady on screen. She's an incredibly impressive performer. She was on the championship tour before Tia Zabrowski was born, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, well, this is her road to the final, Chico, and today, she just, as ever, she was so calm, got the lead, and then got the excellent score when, had to push it when she needed to.
Yeah, that goes to show the experience she has. She really likes to get that fire going. She knows she's a bit older than the others, but she takes that into an advantage, and on a positive way. She doesn't see things negatively, and I think that's a big point of difference for Sally's career right now. Because sometimes you tend to get a bit older and you're just like, oh, okay, I kind of don't have my space over here. There's a lot of kids smashing it, but Sally says, no, I keep focused, I keep training, and I keep winning events.
Well, Sally's 32. She'd be looking at Kelly Slater and saying, he's 50 and still going around. I've got another 18 years in front of me.
She's only halfway through.
Oh. Yeah, she wants to compete against Tia Zabrowski's kids in 30 years.
Look, she's obviously always worked so hard on nutrition and a body and a training. So physically, she's as good as ever. Mentally, you can see where she's at. And turns like that, she can mix it with the best. So she'll now go to the CT and just, try and put that last year behind her in terms of missing the cut. She's back on form. She's back in focus. And she'll be dangerous as ever when that starts off in the end. Look at the smiles. Look what it means to her, Chico. Like, as you say, she's been around so long, but this feeling, she's still chasing it.
Yeah, she's still chasing it because the winning feeling is something you never forget, and it always seems like it's a flash. When you win something, it's like a flash that you can't really remember, because it feels like a few seconds of high adrenaline, and you see things in slow-mo when that happens. And I feel like when you get that winning feeling, you want to have it again once again in your life, because it's hard to match that energy.
Yeah. And what a final it was. I mean, the numbers there. Fitzgibbons, 13.6 to Zabrowski. There was one last wave in the final where we thought, Tia, she pushed it. She got some turns at the back and she went for an air, and that could have been a game changer. It was still really close up until that final thing. But we should talk about Tia Zabrowski, a final in a first ever Challenge Series event. This is the bracket that we saw what she did. And Tia overcome Isabel Nichols, the CT surfer, who's also qualified. Kira Pinkerton, another great surfer, got through her and then just fell short against Fitzgibbons. But I tell you what, we just can't sort of over-emphasise what future she has, Binzi.
Yeah, she's 13, but she surfed a long way beyond her years. She was powerful through her turn. She was throwing up big airs and just surfing fearlessly. She never was overawed by the situation. Looked like there was no pressure at all, and there was no pressure. There was absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain, and she has gained a bucket load this week. And
she says she's hungry for more. She goes, that experience, that hasn't dented her. She's like, yeah, I'm hungry. I want to win. That's all I want to do. And she said she's going on the Challenger Series next year. She's qualified. We're going to see a lot more of her in 2025.
Yeah, hopefully she can stay on tour. I think Sally deserves that, and Tia, what a standout performance from her. I feel like we're going to see on tour really soon as well.
Okay, well, those athletes I've been talking about are down on the podium. They're with Paul Evans. I'm going to let you take it away, Paul. It's all yours, mate.
Thank you, Ben. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the prize giving for the EDP Ericeira Pro, presented by Australia Galicia. It's been a challenging week here. We've had a bit of weather, fog. We've had plenty of waves throughout. We expect that here. It's such a great venue for competition. But it's been challenging for all of our competitors, for you guys. Thanks for everyone coming out to support it. And we're going to crown some very worthy champions here. A bit of weather coming in as well, but the action didn't disappoint today out in the water. Before we get into it, some thank yous. We need to thank EDP and Ericeira Galicia, our presenting partners for the event. And I'd also like to welcome to the stage from Mafra City Council, Pedro Silva Carmo, and from EDP, Monica Marks. Please come to the stage. Welcome, guys. We're going to be handing over our trophies to our champions. Big thanks to our other partners, Tourism Portugal, to Mafra City Council, Mayo, Millennium Bank, Hertz, You and the Sea. And a big thank you to the local surf community here once again in Ericeira for lending us the surf spot. And thanks to all you guys for your support. A round of applause, please. Thank you. Well, came back for finals day today. There was always going to be a bit of energy, a bit of wind coming, and we knew performances were going to be big as well. So for our first prize today, our first trophy will be handed over to someone who's been a quiet achiever throughout the week here. He's been going out smashing his heats. There's a lot of power out there in this wave. He matched it with power of his own. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your men's runner-up from Australia, Callum Robson. Cal, quick word to you, mate. You've had a bit of a challenging year. You got injured early in the season. You haven't been able to do any event, all the events. How good is it to go all the way for a final here?
Yeah, no, definitely, especially missing out on the last event in the US and being able to come here and just get back to hanging with mates and enjoying competing. It was a really good, fun week, and stoked to come away with a second. If you told me at the start of the week I would have come runner-up, I would have been pretty stoked. Obviously, right now, would have loved the win, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the runner-up and heading into Brazil in a better position than I came into here with. Yeah,
you're in a better position, mate. You're up to 11th, so you've jumped up the rankings just outside that top 10. You must be feeling pretty confident about a big result over there.
Yeah, well, coming in here, I wasn't thinking about anything at all except for just trying to surf some heats and have a bit of fun. But obviously now that's a legit possibility, so it's going to be exciting heading to Brazil in a spot to qualify.
Callum Robson, ladies and gents. All right, next up, well, it's been an incredible summer for one young surfer. I say young because she's just 13 years old, a sensation of European and global surfing. Expect to see her on podiums many times in the future. Please make some noise for your women's runner-up, Tia Zabrowski. Tia, a couple of words with you. Your first Challenger Series event. Your first Challenger Series event all the way to a final. How good does that feel?
It feels so good. I want to say thank you everyone to support all of us all the week. And thank you Blue Star, my sponsor, to make the opportunity to do this contest. It's such an honor to surf with all of the best in the world. And yeah, I hope I do as good as I did this week and next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at an absolute sensational young surfer there, Tia Zabrowski, your runner-up for the women. All right, let's crown some champions here. Well, first of all, it's someone who's had success here with a win a couple of years ago. He's been unbelievable on the Challenger Series. This is his third win in the last couple of seasons. He was electric here all week. One heat in particular, throwing absolutely crazy numbers. He was brilliant in the final again. From Brazil, your champion for the men, Samuel Pupo. Well done, mate.
Wow, thank you so much. Obrigado a todo mundo que está aí na praia, todos os portugueses, todos os brasileiros. Torcida incrível, cara. Foi uma semana incrível para mim, assistindo o Alejo voltar para o CT depois de tanto tempo. E um resultado muito importante para o meu irmão também. O Edgar também foi muito bem, então foi um ótimo evento para os brasileiros. E só agradecer a todos os locais por nos receberem tão bem. E esse lugar é muito especial pra gente, então obrigado mesmo.
One more from me, mate. Heading over to Saquerema, to Brazil for the last event of the season. You got qualification done. You're heading to the CT next year. I guess that allows you just to relax, go out there and perform, represent your country.
Com certeza. O próximo evento em Saquerema, um lugar que eu também venci antes. E muito feliz de estar voltando para lá. É o público que eu mais gosto de surfar na frente. E espero conseguir botar outra boa performance para todo mundo que estiver assistindo. Esse é o que eu mais gosto de fazer, é dar um show para vocês. Então, infelizmente recebi mensagens difíceis ontem de próprios brasileiros me atacando depois da bateria das quartas, mas minha cabeça estava muito boa e feliz de conseguir zerar isso tudo na minha cabeça e performar do jeito que eu queria. E isso aqui é para vocês, né, para o Brasil.
Just a couple of quick words in English.
Thank you everyone that was watching, and this trophy is for my home and for my family and for everyone that I do this for. Yeah, thank you.
Muito parabéns, Samuel. All right, our last trophy to hand over here. Someone that every event she comes to, you know she's going to perform, you know she's going to bring absolutely everything. She's been entertaining us throughout. Brilliant, positive energy as well. Let's make some noise for your women's champion from Australia, Sally Fitzgibbons. Yes, Sal. Sally, you've been doing this for a while, you've been winning for a while. It looks like it still feels pretty good.
I'll start with hola todos, obrigado. This feels amazing. It was such a surprise to come onto the shore and know that I won. We couldn't hear much in the lineup, so just to see the Aussies coming down, rallying around us and doing the Ring of Fire, one of the most special things in my career. And over 20 years, you guys have embraced me and you've supported me ever since I was Tia's age of 13. So you have such a warm place in my heart, and I thank you so much. And thanks for being a part of this special moment with me.
You're going back to the CT next year. We've been talking about the push from the young surfers on that tour. Is that challenge for you? Is that going to allow you to really show what you can do and get back there and perform at your very, very best at the highest level?
Oh, I don't mind what tour it is. I love surfing. I love showing up every single day, and it's thanks to my parents. My dad's up there, my mum's back home, and they brought me to the beach, and they sat on the beach in the rain like this every single day and let me play in the ocean. And so I don't care what tour I have to be on. I'm here to play and be inspired by this generation. So let's keep surfing and having fun.
All right, thanks, Sally. Make some noise for your women's champ, Sally Fitzgibbons, all of our finalists. Let's hear it once again for all of our finalists and our champions, the EDP Ericeira Pro. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise, please. And we'll go back to the studio.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Well done. And 4 very stoked surfers. Big crowds down there. So incredible to see those guys and their trophies. EDP, as ever, huge supporters of surfing in Portugal. And all those guys looking pretty happy. We've got 2 CT qualifiers there, 1 knocking on the door, and then 1 young lady who's probably going to get there in the future. So good times. Sally Fitzgibbons, you know, again, really great to see her on that stage and so stoked, and still thanking all the people that supported her. And as you said, she's qualified. She's gone up to the Challenger Series rankings. It's been a big week for that. We've had quite a few of the women's surfers qualified throughout this course of the event, but there still is some spots left open. We might check out those rankings right now and see if there's any more room to move. We see there, so Sally Fitzgibbons out in lead, Bella Kenworthy also through, Isabella Nichols now into 3rd place. But below that, it's still so tight. So Nadia Aristabe and Erin Brooks currently holding those positions, but look at those tight sort of positions down there, Chico. Luana Silva, Vivian Fierro. With Brazil coming up, there's still, those 2 spots open. It's going to be a right battle for it, isn't it?
Yes, it will, and Saquerema is such a sketchy spot. You never know what's going to happen. You know, there's always underdogs doing well there, so you can expect some changes in the rankings.
Interesting, Erin Brooks, who's one of the superstars of the sport, won the CT as a wildcard in Fiji, and yet now she'll be going to Brazil. She'll be nervous. She would have wanted to wrap it up here. Instead, she's going to be feeling the pump.
Yeah, so there's been 5 events so far. Sally with 2 wins, and then Bella, Isabella, and Erin have taken the rest. Sort of feels like Erin's very, very close to being there. Nadia Ericeira is well and truly under pressure, and basically anyone you see on that page with a win in Rio is going to shake things up.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight battle as we go down. Also, in the men's, obviously, there's 10 surfers that qualify for the CT based on the Challenger Series ratings. So it's a bit more opportunity. We've seen quite a few go through this week. The Brazilians predominantly have done really well. We saw Samuel Pupo, we mentioned Alea Muniz, of course, and Ian Gavia's already there. But the bracket here is a bit more of a shaking up. Callum Robson, for example, on the basis of his final today, he's probably been the big jump. He's just below this thing. Who else here can you see sort of holding onto their spot, Chico? That's top 3 all covered off, but you reckon Miguel Pupos too? He's pretty in a good spot.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you might be a bit stressed if you're Joel, Alan, Michael, Jackson. Those guys, they're right on the money, on the cusp to qualify, and with Brazil coming up and guys like Callum just making huge jumps on the rankings, they must be feeling. They must be coming in with a lot of confidence there. So,
yeah, and of course Joel Vaughan, Binzi, he's another big jump up until 9th on the rankings. He was way down, so he got to semi-final. So yeah, he's one to watch as well.
Yeah, huge move for Joel. You look at Alan Cleland, he's got that 10,000 point win at the US Open and not much before that. So he's actually in a good position because he can very easily add to his total with a decent result in Rio. I think when we go to the next page, we'll see Mikey Madonna's a little bit the same as well.
Yeah, there's 7 spots still for grabs, so it's still all to play for, really, when they go to Brazil. They go there tonight, tomorrow. There's no rest. The event kicks off pretty soon, so that's what it's all up for grabs. CT places. But of that top 7, you know, do you think that those guys in the top 10 are the favourites, or any guys lurking below Chico that you got your eye on?
Well, I think on the CS, there's of course there's those names that you kind of know and expect they're going to come back on tour, but then there's a big list of other guys that are so talented that can win any event. So you can see a guy coming from the round of 80 and just cracking and winning the event.
Name, you know, like, I need a name, please. Come on, who you got?
Anyone, like
no names.
Frederic Moraes, for example.
Okay.
You can win Saquerema.
Binzi, what about you, mate? Who are you backing in Saquerema to get into that all-important top 10?
Well, anyone in the top 20 could, you know, pull one out and get up there. You know, an Aussie like Dylan Moffat is lurking. He's capable. He's surfed in CTs before. There's no reason why he can't do something in those punchier waves. Yeah, it's still wide open.
Okay, that's all to come. We're going to have a quick wrap at what's gone on this week. There's been top 5 moments from today, the finals day. We had the semis and the finals day, the men's and the women's. These are the top 5 moments. Starting off here, number 5, and it's that woman, Tia Zabrowski. Chico, we've talked about it a lot, but there's a reason for this, and it's surfing like this.
I feel like we are watching replays of her all week. She just destroyed Ribeiradilhas, and for the first Challenger event of Tia, I feel like she had done a lot of work, and I think she's on the mind of a lot of people. As we've got the moment 4 with Sally, and yep, Sally qualifies Bella and Isabella. So 3 big names back on tour, and what a great place to qualify, Vinci.
Yeah, and Bella Canworthy, a first-time debutante at the highest level. Saw a great post from Carissa Moore the other day. They've been close friends of the family for a long, long time. She's known Bella since she was born, so great to see the generations passing the flame.
Yeah, and these 3 qualifiers, Fitzgibbons, Canworthy, Nichols, they're going to Brazil. Probably pretty relaxed now. That flight will be a bit easier. They would be able to chill out a bit more. We had Bella in the booth, and she was on really good form. Just saying, you know, how hard she's worked, how difficult that cut is, and what it takes, and how she's just already firing up for the CT. She missed out on the CT being at Snapper, and she's going where. But this was a great story, Chris. Alea Muniz, 8 years off tour, qualified here, and she's meant a lot to him.
Yeah, and I see Sammy and Alejo both packaged up together in this, you know, highlight, but 2 completely different stories. Sam Pupo, the young gun, you know that he's got a long, long career out in front of him. Alejo Muniz, a forgotten man in world surfing. It's been 8 years since he was on the championship tour. He has been through the ringer with a wretched run of knee injuries, I think both knees. And yet his surfing looks electric. He's so strong. and looks like he's going to not just turn up on the championship tour next year, but definitely capable of taking some scalps and getting himself down to the business end of a few events.
And it felt like, Chico, once Alejo qualified, that all the Brazilians were sort of just so stoked, and then Pupo also on the CT. So it was like a real Brazilian force. There was a really tight-knit group, and they've been on fire all week.
Yeah, I think they fired each other up. They pushed each other to up the level, and that's it. They're on fire, and this was number 2 moment of this event, of course. Sally, with huge turns like this, winning the event, and making sure Tia trains a bit more to actually catching up the veteran, right, Ben?
Yeah, well, that stat that we talked about is Tia not even being born when Sally was on a rookie in the CT is a pretty remarkable one. And she didn't give her any quarter, she didn't let up, and just too experienced, too strong, Chris, in the end.
Yeah, strong chance if you're out for dinner in Ericeira tonight, you might see Sally somewhere still in the Rashi, because she loves hanging on to these moments and celebrating them. And then another man who's going to be celebrating today, obviously Sam Pupo. It's been an incredible week for the Pupo clan. Miguel, the older brother, you know, just an inch away from sealing the deal, but you imagine he'll do so in Rio. But all about this man, Sam, winning for the 2nd time here in Ribera, winning for the 3rd time on the Challenger Series in the last 2 seasons. And he's just shown time and again at the business end of events, he's a nice man.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we see that wrapping up, and that's the number 1 moment, Samuel Pupo winning, and the Brazilian gathering around him, all smiles, all singing, all dancing, all joy. And you know what? He's done it so well. It hasn't been an easy event, let's be honest. We've had to overcome all sorts of obstacles weather-wise. We've always had swell. We've had fog, didn't we? So, you know, the guys, Miguel Felters and Travis Logie, picking the eyes out of this event. It hasn't been easy, but we got there in the end, right?
Yeah, it's done. And I think it was actually one of the best events we had on the last 10 years in terms of waves. We got consistent waves, and the swell direction was perfect, and we saw a lot of excellent numbers. So I'm really excited to see a couple of heats again, actually. So great moments.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's a big team here. I'd like to thank all the people that go into this, you know, from the catering staff all the way up to the judges, to the TV broadcast team, to the commentators. It's been a massive team effort, so I'd like to thank all those people that put in so much hard work and effort and help us come here and have such a great time. The next stop is in Brazil. October 12th, the Corona Saquerema Pro, so it doesn't stop. The Challenger Series is the only surfing show in town right now, and Brazil is coming your way, so make sure you do that. We're going to pop an Australia Galicia beer, toast our good fortune. We're going to show you the highlights. Come back next year. We thank you for your support, the surf fans. We couldn't do it without you. We really appreciate your support. We're going to say goodbye. Thanks, Chico. Thanks, Binzi.
Thanks, boys.
See you next year.
See you next year.
Salut.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.